Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Emma, your host.
And I'm John. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in today.
So, John, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Emma. Thanks for asking. And hello to all our wonderful listeners out there.
We're so glad you're here with us. And if you're new to our podcast, welcome. This is your go to place for simple, clear, and fun ways to improve your English step by step.
That's right. We keep things practical and easy to follow no matter what level you're at.
And today, John, we have a really interesting topic to dive into.
Oh, yes, we're talking about train your mouth to talk.
I love this topic because many English learners think speaking is just about knowing vocabulary or understanding grammar rules. But actually, speaking is also about training your mouth, your lips, your tongue, even your jaw.
Exactly. It's kind of like going to the gym, but for your speaking muscles.
That's a perfect way to put it. If you want to speak English more clearly and naturally, you need to practice how your mouth moves. It's physical training.
So, in today's episode, we're going to walk you through step by step how you can train your mouth to speak better English. We'll cover warm ups, pronunciation practice, tongue twisters, and even give you a daily routine you can follow.
And don't worry, we're keeping it simple and fun, so you can follow along easily, even if you're just starting your English journey.
Sounds good. So, let's jump right in. Why do we need to train our mouth to talk in English?
All right, John, before we get into the how, let's start with the why. Why do we need to train our mouth to talk in English?
That's such an important question, Emma. I see this all the time with students. They know tons of English words. They understand grammar. But when they try to speak, it feels difficult. Their mouth doesn't move easily, and sometimes the words come out sounding strange or unclear.
Yes, exactly. I hear that a lot too. Students tell me, I know what I want to say, but I just can't get it out quickly.
Right. And that happens because speaking isn't only about thinking, it's also about muscles, your lips, your tongue, even your jaw. If you don't train them, they move slowly or in the wrong way.
It makes total sense when you think about it. It's like playing a sport football, basketball, whatever. You need to train your body. If you never practice, you can't expect to play well in a real game, right?
Exactly. And in English, some sounds are completely new for learners. For example, the Thai sound in words like think or this. If your mouth isn't used to it, you might say sink instead of think.
Oh, yes, I've heard that mistake so many times. So, training your mouth helps you pronounce sounds more clearly, speak faster, and feel more confident overall.
Absolutely. And there's another reason too, rhythm. English has a special rhythm and stress pattern. If you don't train your mouth to follow it, it's really hard to get that natural flow.
That's so true. The rhythm makes such a difference in how natural you sound.
Exactly. So if our listeners train their mouths step by step, they'll notice big improvements in the way they speak English.
Wonderful. So, now that we understand why it's important, let's talk about how speaking is like physical exercise. Speaking English is like physical exercise.
Okay, Emma, so we know why training the mouth is important. But can we really compare speaking English to physical exercise?
Oh, absolutely, John. I think that's one of the best ways to explain it. Just like you train your body at the gym, you also need to train your mouth for English.
I like that comparison. Can you give us an example?
Sure, imagine you want to build stronger arms. What do? You lift weights again and again. At first, it's really hard, but after a few weeks, your arms get stronger.
Ah, I see where you're going. So, in the same way, if you want clear English, you have to repeat sounds and words again and again.
Exactly. Your tongue and lips are like little muscles. The more you practice, the faster and smoother they move when you speak.
That makes so much sense. So, if I never train, I'll always feel slow or awkward when I'm speaking.
Yes, exactly. And here's something funny. Have you ever tried a tongue twister, John?
Oh, yeah, like she sells seashells by the seashore.
That's the one. When you try it for the first time, your mouth feels tired, right?
Definitely. My tongue gets all confused.
Exactly. That shows us that our mouth needs training just like our body does. The more we practice, the easier it gets.
So basically, learning English isn't only mental, it's physical too.
That's right. And the good news is, just like with exercise, if you practice every day, even for just a short time, you'll see big results.
Great. So now let's look at some of the common problems learners face when they try to speak English. Common problems learners face.
All right, John, we've talked about why we need to train our mouth and how speaking is like exercise. But I think many learners face real challenges when they try to speak. What are some of the most common problems you see?
Good question, Emma. I see a few problems over and over again. The first one is speaking too slowly. Learners know the words, but when they speak, there are these long pauses.
Yes, I've noticed that too. It's like they're translating from their native language in their head.
Exactly. And that's actually problem number two, translating instead of speaking directly. When you're translating in your mind, your mouth stops moving naturally.
Right. And I think another big issue is fear. Many learners are afraid of making mistakes, so they don't open their mouth enough when they speak.
Yes, and that leads to unclear sounds. Some learners speak without really moving their lips or tongue much, so the words sound flat or hard to understand.
That's a great point. It's almost like mumbling, isn't it?
Yes, exactly, mumbling. And one more problem is rhythm. English has a special rhythm with stressed and unstressed words. If learners don't practice it, their speech can sound robotic or unnatural.
Oh, that's so true. I remember one student who spoke every word with the same stress, like a robot. But once they trained their mouth to follow English rhythm, they sounded so much more natural.
Yes, exactly. So to summarize, the common problems are speaking too slowly, translating in the mind, fear of mistakes, not opening the mouth enough, and robotic rhythm.
That's a really clear list. And the good news is, we can fix all of these problems by training the mouth step by step.
Absolutely. And that's what we're going to talk about next, starting with the first step, warming up your mouth before speaking. Step 1, warming up your mouth.
All right, John, now we're getting into the practical stuff. Let's talk about warming up your mouth. Why is this important?
Well, Emma, just like athletes warm up before exercise, your mouth and tongue need a warm up before speaking English. It helps your lips, tongue, and jaw move more easily.
That makes perfect sense. So if I warm up my mouth, I can speak faster and more clearly.
Exactly. And it's super simple. You don't need any special tools, just a few exercises that take a couple of minutes.
Great. Can you give us an example?
Sure, first, try moving your lips. Say ah, e, oo slowly and clearly. Open your mouth wide for ah, smile for e, and round your lips for ooh.
Oh, I see. So we're training our lip and mouth muscles with these sounds.
Yes, exactly. Next, move your tongue. Stick it out and move it left, right, up, and down. This helps your tongue become flexible.
Wow, I never thought about moving my tongue like that. That's actually fun.
It is fun, and it works. Another exercise is jaw movement. Open your mouth wide, then slowly close it. Repeat this a few times. It helps your jaw feel relaxed and ready to speak.
So, lips, tongue, and jaw. Warm them up for a few minutes every day. That's the key.
Exactly. And the best part is you can do this anywhere, even before a class or an important conversation. Just 2 to 3 minutes of warm up makes a big difference.
Fantastic. Now that we know how to warm up, let's move to the next step, practicing sounds and pronunciation. Step 2, practicing sounds and pronunciation.
All right, Emma, we've warmed up our mouths. What's next?
The next step is practicing sounds and pronunciation. This is really important because some English sounds are different from what learners use in their own language.
Right, like the TH sound or the R sound. Those can be really tricky.
Exactly. For example, the teach sound in think or this is difficult for many learners. Your tongue needs to go slightly between your teeth, like this. Think, this.
Oh, that is tricky. But I can see how practicing it slowly would help.
Yes, always start slowly. Another common challenge is the R sound. In words like read or run, the tongue shouldn't touch the roof of your mouth. Just curl it slightly.
That's interesting. What about the L sound?
Good question. For L, your tongue should touch just behind your upper front teeth. For example, light, love, little.
I see. So the key is to practice these sounds one by one, slowly at first.
Exactly. And the more you repeat them, the easier they become. You can even practice short words or syllables multiple times until your mouth remembers the movements.
That makes sense. So learners shouldn't rush. They should take small steps and practice daily.
Yes, exactly. And once the sounds become natural, it'll be much easier to speak full sentences clearly and confidently.
Perfect. So after practicing individual sounds, the next step is fun, using tongue twisters and repetition to make our mouth even faster. Step 3. Using tongue twisters and repetition.
All right, John. Now that we've practiced sounds, what's the next step?
The next step is using tongue twisters and repetition. This is a really fun way to train your mouth and improve your speed and clarity.
I love tongue twisters. Can you give us an example?
Sure, a simple one is, she sells seashells by the seashore. Say it slowly at first, then a little faster each time.
Oh, yes, I remember that one. It's tricky at first, but so fun to practice.
Exactly. Another example is, red lorry, yellow lorry. It helps you practice the R and L sounds.
So the key is repetition, right? Repeat these tongue twisters several times every day.
Yes, repetition trains your mouth muscles. At first, it might feel hard, but after a few days, your mouth moves faster and more naturally.
That's great. And I think it's also fun. Learners can practice alone or even with friends.
Absolutely. And the more you repeat, the clearer and faster your English will sound.
Perfect. After tongue twisters, we should move on to practicing short phrases to train your mouth for real sentences.
Step 4. Practicing useful phrases. All right, Emma, tongue twisters are fun, but how can learners use what they've practiced in actual conversations?
Good question, John. The next step is practicing with useful phrases instead of just individual words. Learners should practice short sentences they can actually use in daily life.
Ah, that makes sense. Can you give us some examples?
Sure. For example, how are you today? Or, can you help me, please? Or, I would like a cup of tea.
So learners should repeat these phrases slowly at first, then faster.
Exactly. This trains your mouth to say full sentences naturally, not just isolated words. And when you repeat phrases every day, it becomes easier to speak during real conversations.
That's really practical. So learners can start with 5 to 10 phrases and practice them every day.
Yes, exactly. And the best part is these phrases are useful in real life, so learners can start using them right away.
Perfect. After phrases, I believe the next step is recording and listening to yourself, right? Step 5. Recording and listening to yourself.
That's right, John. Now that we've practiced sounds, tongue twisters, and phrases, what's the next step?
The next step is really helpful. Recording yourself and listening to your own voice.
Why is this so important?
Many learners don't realize it, but when you hear your own voice, you can notice mistakes that you didn't feel while speaking. For example, pronunciation errors, missing words, or unclear sounds.
That makes sense. So, recording is like checking your own work, right?
Exactly. And the good news is, you don't need fancy equipment. You can just use your phone or computer, record yourself reading a short paragraph or speaking a few phrases, then listen carefully.
Oh, that's easy. And I guess after listening, you can practice again and correct your mistakes.
Yes, that's the key. Listen, notice mistakes, and repeat. Doing this regularly trains your mouth and improves your speaking much faster.
Perfect. And I think it also builds confidence because you can hear your progress over time.
Absolutely. Once learners see or hear their improvement, they feel motivated to keep practicing every day.
Great. So after recording, our next step is shadowing, which is also a very powerful technique. Step 6. Shadowing.
All right, Emma, we've learned about recording ourselves. What's the next step to train our mouth?
The next step is called shadowing. This is a really effective technique for improving pronunciation, rhythm, and fluency.
Shadowing. That sounds interesting. What exactly does it mean?
Shadowing means listening to a native speaker and immediately repeating what they say, almost at the same time. Like a shadow.
Ah, I see. So you're copying the sound, speed, and rhythm of a native speaker.
Exactly. For example, listen to this sentence: I am going to the market today. Then repeat it immediately, trying to match the speaker's speed and intonation.
That sounds really useful. It trains both the mouth and the brain to speak naturally.
Yes, exactly. At first, it might be a little hard, but with daily practice, your mouth becomes faster, your pronunciation improves, and your English sounds much more natural.
That's great. And you can shadow anything: podcasts, YouTube videos, or even conversations you hear in real life.
Absolutely. Shadowing is one of the fastest ways to improve fluency if you do it consistently every day.
Perfect. After shadowing, I think it's important to talk about common mistakes learners should avoid. Common mistakes to avoid.
All right, John, before we finish talking about the training steps, let's discuss some mistakes learners should avoid.
Yes, Emma. One common mistake is speaking too fast before your mouth is ready. It's better to start slowly and gradually increase your speed.
Good point. What's another mistake?
Some learners memorize words or sentences without actually practicing the mouth movements. That doesn't help much. You need to say the words out loud.
Right. And I think giving up too soon is another problem. Progress takes time, so learners need patience.
Exactly. So remember, start slow, practice out loud, and don't give up. Avoid these mistakes, and your mouth training will be much more effective.
Perfect advice, John. A simple daily training plan.
All right, Emma. Now that we know all the steps, can you give our listeners a simple daily training plan?
Sure, John. Here's a quick plan you can follow every day. Warm up your mouth for 2 to 3 minutes. Practice difficult sounds for 2 to 3 minutes. Repeat a few tongue twisters for 2 minutes. Practice 5 to 10 useful phrases for 2 minutes. Record yourself or do shadowing for 2 to 3 minutes.
Wow, that's just 10 to 15 minutes a day, but it covers everything.
Exactly. Consistency is more important than long practice sessions. Just a few minutes every day makes a big difference over time.
Perfect. Now let's talk about motivation and why this really helps in real life. Why this matters in real life?
John, we've talked about all the steps in a daily plan, but why is this so important in real life?
Great question, Emma. Training your mouth isn't just about speaking clearly, it's about confidence. When you can speak naturally, you feel more confident in conversations, interviews, or even when meeting new people.
Yes, I totally agree. And it also helps you understand others better because your mouth and ears are trained together.
Exactly. And remember, every little bit of practice counts. Even 10 minutes a day can help you speak faster, clearer, and more confidently in real situations.
That's really motivating, John. So, listeners, if you follow these steps consistently, you'll notice a big improvement in your English speaking.
Absolutely.
A fun challenge for listeners. All right, John, it's time for a fun challenge for our listeners.
Yes! Here's a simple one. Pick 3 tongue twisters and 5 useful phrases from today's episode. Practice them every day for 1 week.
And don't forget to record yourself or try shadowing a native speaker while you're practicing.
Exactly. At the end of the week, listen to your recording and notice how much clearer and faster your English sounds.
That's a great way to see progress and stay motivated.
So, listeners, take the challenge and have fun with it.
All right, John. That's it for today's episode on Train Your Mouth to Talk in English.
Yes, Emma. I hope our listeners learn some useful tips and feel ready to practice every day.
Remember, listeners, speaking English clearly is like exercising your mouth. With daily practice, warm ups, sounds, tongue twisters, phrases, and shadowing, your English will improve step by step.
Absolutely. And don't worry about mistakes, they're part of learning. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and enjoy the process.
Thank you so much for listening today. If you liked this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share it with your friends, and leave us a comment. We'd love to hear about your progress.
Yes, and we'll see you in the next episode with more tips to improve your English. Keep practicing and have a great day. Bye, everyone.
See you next time.